was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when I was 43 years of age. I was given insulin.
This is how many years ago?
This is 15 years ago. And almost straight away, very fast, I was put onto insulin. I was shown how to use the insulin pen and told how much to give myself in the morning and the evening, but that's all I was shown. Went home with my insulin pen, and this is what I did. I gave the morning dose and I gave the evening dose. But I started to put on weight almost immediately, and I just ballooned. The weight gain was incredible. Plus the fact that my sugars were very, very high, even on the insulin. My sugars didn't seem to be lowering at all. They were extremely high. And I felt, well, if I give myself more insulin, maybe the sugar would go down, which I wasn't even told if I could do that or not, but that was my way of thinking. I could give myself more insulin and the sugars might go down, but that didn't help. Then my health started to be affected. The blood pressure went up, the cholesterol went up, I wasn't sleeping. Then it came to the stage where I could barely walk down the passage without feeling sick. I was out of breath. I couldn't get into the shower, and I was out of breath after the shower. If I went shopping, all I wanted to do was hold on to a trolley, and that gave me a bit of energy so that I could walk down the aisles and do the shopping. Otherwise, I'd have to find somewhere to sit because I was feeling dreadful.
At the age of 43,
Yep.
You were almost like an old woman.
I was like an old woman. My knees were sore. My joints were sore. I suffered with headaches, extreme headaches, that I had to go for injections, some kind of injection at the doctor's. Not one doctor said to me, here's a diet. You can use this diet and see if that will help you. Not one of them said that to me. Not one. So I was really getting very, very bad. And my husband was looking at me and he saw me going downhill. And he turned around to me and he said, you are not going to make the age of 60 if you carry on like this.
How did you feel when he said that?
Shocked. I was very shocked because my mom died at the age of 65 and I thought, that's a shock. And he said to me, one day he saw your program on the morning show with a gentleman that had type 2 diabetes as well. He recorded it for me and he said to me, come and watch this. So okay. Plodded along, sat down next to him and he said, yes, Ava, listen to what they've got to say. So I said, okay, we'll listen to what they've got to say. Anyway, after watching, he said to me, would you like to go and see Ava? Oh, I very reluctantly said, yes, okay. So that's when I made the phone calls. I wasn't too sure about this because I was worried what I'm going to bring to you, what I'm looking like. I was huge, absolutely huge. My face was bloated, my feet were swollen. I was on diuretics for all this. And anyway, the ladies made an appointment for me with you. And I was very, very nervous to come and see you. And came in here and you looked at me and I said, oh, diabetes is kind of hereditary in our family. You said, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. You're going to have to change your lifestyle. And immediately you took me off insulin. And
How did you feel about that? Because that's quite scary.
It is scary.
You were 15 years on
insulin. 15 years. And
now
how many injections after all that?
And now I'm telling you that you have to stop.
Yes. No, I was very nervous. Am I doing the right thing? How am I going to cope? What am I going to eat? How am I going to feel? No insulin. What happens if it shoots right up? And the day I came to see you, it was extremely high. My sugar readings were very high.
What were your sugar readings?
I think they were 22.
This was with the insulin?
With the insulin. And that was with fasting. And you said to me, if you carry on like this, I'll give you another 10 years. If you carry on like this lifestyle, it all depends, it boils down to lifestyle. And then you explained to me exactly what happens when you're diabetic, which nobody had ever told me. Nobody had ever told me exactly what goes on in your body. I didn't understand. I didn't know what happened. Nobody had told me. And you explained it, and I sort of knew. And as my visits with you, you explained more and more. I mean, I didn't know what HbA1c was. I had no idea.
You've been diabetic for 15 years and you did not know the most important reading, HbA1c, what it meant and what it was.
Nobody told me anything about that. Nobody. Nobody told me to do a reading first thing in the morning after your fasting, first thing in the morning. Nobody ever told me that. Nobody told me to do a reading perhaps before you've eaten something, and then 2 hours afterwards do another reading to see what your sugar levels are. Nobody told me that.
So basically they put you on insulin with very little or hardly any education.
No education, let's put it that way, on how to use the pen. That's all. But can I tell you how I feel now? I'm a different person. If I didn't do that, I might not be here today. Because I am 60 now, and I might not be, for the way I was feeling. I wouldn't have been. My husband was very, very worried about me. And he was desperate. And how I feel today? I feel fantastic. I feel absolutely, it's given me so much more life. I'm more confident.
I think we forgot here the most important thing, that from the day we stopped your insulin injections, which is 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes. And I lost the weight on the diet, which was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And I lost the weight.
How much?
I lost half my body weight. Almost
55
kilos, yes.
55 kilos.
Yes.
It's over 100 pounds.
Yes.
But what we are here forgetting, that you haven't gone back to insulin from the day I stopped the insulin.
No,
that's over 2 years ago.
And plus that, I haven't gone back to any of my other meds, because now no blood pressure medication, no cholesterol medication. Only medication is the thyroid and my vitamin. That's all. I was on sleeping tablets, I was on antidepressants before I started with you. And as the time went on, I think the first thing to go was my blood pressure tablets, then the cholesterol. And then I began to feel more confident, because I wasn't so big, so large, and I felt more confident. Wow, I can actually do what other people do. I can go to the same shops as they do to go and buy clothes. I can get back into the swimming pool, which I love. And now I'm on no medication. And that is fantastic. From taking diuretics, you name it, anti-inflammatories to keep the pain away.
It was a long list of medication.
It was an extremely long list. That's what you said to me.
And on top of that, you were taking over 70 units of insulin a day. Between the Novorapid and the Novomix, and I think you have some long-acting one there as well. Yeah. It was a total mixture.
Yes, and never mind all the painkillers that you go through, because your body is in pain. You are uncomfortable.
When have you been to your doctor last?
I've never been to my doctor last. The last doctor I saw was you. Oh yes, no, I did go to him. I did go to my GP, and I might tell you, he didn't recognize me. He didn't know who I was. He said, I'm very sorry. I didn't know who you were. And he was very, very pleased. He put me onto the scale straight away, and he says, I don't believe what is going on. And I don't see my doctor anymore. I don't see him. The only reason why I went to him was so that he could see exactly what I look like and to give him my results, from the blood.
Because your diabetes is basically gone. We
Well,
managed to reverse it, which was actually unbelievable.
Yes, it's gone.
But in fairness, you halved your body size.
I sit at 5, 6.
They are all normal.
Yeah. So today it's 4.7, 4.3, but
4.3, and you're still checking them.
I'm checking them all the time.
Even though you are basically normal.
I check them all the time. I'm so worried that I might have to go back like that. And I would say to anybody, I know somebody who needs help, but I don't know how to say to him, don't take diabetes as a joke, because it's not. And also due to that, I have had retinal damage to my left eye. So if I keep my sugar readings low, that can reverse itself and my retina will improve. So I have to now go for that every 6 months for my retinal digital screening. For that too. You don't want to go blind. You don't want to lose your toes. No.
Now, anybody listening to this would say, Jean must be a superhero, superwoman to do the diet. How was the diet?
The diet was good. Ava, I think if you're feeling that poorly, as I was, and somebody has said to you, you're not going to make the age of 60, you tell me I've got not much left. But if I carry on like that, it's going to happen. And the diet was good. I did it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I got addicted to your porridge.
You were cooking vegetables.
I was cooking salads. I couldn't wait to eat my salad.
And then you got our supplements.
Supplements and vegetables and recipes that were so enjoyable. Honestly, the diet was fantastic.
Would you say you're still sort of doing it?
I'm doing it. I do it.
People often wonder that, does the quality of life go down and do you become miserable when you go on so-called weight loss diet?
No. And I had people in the household with me that I had to make their dinner for them. I made my dinner first and then their dinner. And I'd eat my dinner before, so that when I was making their dinner, I wasn't hungry. So we could go out to eat and I would make sure that I had my salad and everybody else had their devil's food. And we went to hotels, stayed over. Made sure that when they brought me my food, it was the vegetables done just like that. The meat or salmon or whatever it was, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
How do you think now of those 15 years you were on insulin and now your life after?
Well, my life before, in the 15 years on insulin is, can I say it's very, very vague. I almost like I wasn't there, type of thing. I was on so many drugs and the insulin, I wasn't living. That's how I can put it. I wasn't living. All I wanted to do was just sit down and, not socialize or anything like that. My life was miserable. I was always in pain. It was miserable. Plus the fact that I didn't want to eat in front of anybody because I was so big. And I had to give myself an insulin injection before you ate, which was also annoying.
How many injections were you giving a day?
2.
Over 15 years?
Yep.
Have you never counted how
about
many?
4,000 something other injections, if not more. I had holes in my stomach all over. All over. And sometimes you bruise, you hit a nerve. It's not comfortable.
Would you say that this has given you a new lease of life?
Absolutely. I'm back in the swimming pool, Ava. I'm back in the swimming pool. I was a swimmer when I was younger. I swam for my province. I was a good swimmer, and now I'm back into the pool.
I would say your story is so amazing and so empowering, and it says it all. But would you still give a message to anybody listening to this?
I would tell them to ask questions before you get put onto any type of medication for diabetes. I didn't ask, but they didn't offer to tell me either. I thought, well, this is just what you do. I would tell them to ask the questions before you get any medication. How is this going to? Ask more about diabetes itself. How it harms the body. Otherwise, you're not going to understand. You need that bit. No, they must ask questions and don't be scared to. I think maybe, I don't know, but the doctors didn't say anything. Well, maybe you should come back and we can give you a diet and come back and have your bloods done for your HbA1c. Nothing like that.
Did anybody ever recommend that you would lose weight?
No. Not one of them. No. Not one of the doctors said that to me. And I think they would have helped if they had said something. But then when you're using insulin, it's putting on the weight. And then you also think, oh, well, I can eat what I like. I'm on insulin, so I can eat what I like. It's not going to hurt me.
Is there anything anymore that you would like to tell to people listening to this?
Just don't take type 2 diabetes as a joke, because it isn't. It will get the better of you eventually. It will hurt you. Definitely.